Hello, my name is Ronald French. I'm the founder and pastor of Access Sanctuary and Chapels. Our organization is, in an old term use, an interfaith church. But more or less we are a newer version of a universalist church, and we also align ourselves with the philosophy of coexist, tolerance through education. So we market ourselves as a universalist coexist church. One of the main goals is to provide a tangible structure for those of the minority belief systems. And the reason for this is there are many dogmatic activities that would require obviously some privacy, and not many people will have the hosting space to provide it. And so Access Sanctuary and Chapels, as a nonprofit charity organization, or soon to be a tax-exempt charity organization, our goals are basically to provide housing for the minority belief systems and shelter for them as well, should there be a disaster. So with that being said, one of the things that we also are trying to do is to provide education to the public for the minority belief systems, because there's a lot of misconceptions of basically anything that's out there that's not part of the convention. So with that being said, we have for about 5 years I've been promoting Access Sanctuary and Chapel. You always see a different type of coexist. The initial coexist symbol is trademarked, and it's based upon the three major religions. Of course, anything with 10% deviation, the trademark kind of goes away. And I've added other symbols, other organizational symbols, and so I think instead of the basic three, we have about 7. So, with that said and done, you'll see the coexist kind of differently, and a takeoff of a couple different artisans who created that coexist symbol, and I have the URL written underneath for people to take a look at what we're doing. We have a online ministry, which is a social network, and it has over 40 belief systems for people to not only go and learn about what they have an interest in, but they can also learn about other people's interests as well. And so it kind of holds a trifactor. By even being a member on there, can constitute membership with a church, and but it's not necessarily mandatory. The site gets about roughly 800 hits a month as of late, and but we have 120 members roughly. And so it's a growth in progress, because what's going on is we have over 47 countries looking at our site. It's an old concept. The problem is when I see a lot of interfaith churches, they have a tendency to, I don't know, they stay in the spiritual. They're all fluffy clouds and astral pictures, and I like to go and deal with the here and now, the earth element, this is where we're at currently. I don't believe in the green movement. I believe in the off the grid movement. So trying to develop a physical structure where we're autonomous from the outside world is kind of where I'm going with the development of Access Sanctuary and Chapels. Education's a pretty big thing with me. I'm pretty much self-taught. I was never encouraged in education. I was always told I had to learn. And being a thick-headed person, you don't want to do what you're told. So as you get older, I was self-taught in a lot of different things, to edit and create this video. So my thing is, we've been trying to develop a reference-only library, and classrooms for secondary education, such as English as a second language, computer shop or a computer class. And so we're looking at classrooms, a library, a little bit more in depth to just being a regular church on Sunday type of thing. We're trying to kind of make a virtual city, the minority belief systems. And so we right now have over 40 of these organizations represented in the online ministry. We also have a main website, and it basically gives us a bigger picture, or shows you guys the different goals that we have, and that's what we're shooting for too. So I think also to add a note, like a wellness center, and some other programs as well. And so that's where we stand on all that. And as for fruition, it's kind of getting to the point on the paperwork. We're almost done. We have to rewrite the articles of corporation for the annual report. We are writing bylaws. We have 13 reserved board members waiting to be appointed. And I have to fill out a couple of forms with the IRS to be a tax-exempt corporation, or at least the holding company is. And so with that said and done, we're already a non-profit in the state of Florida. So from the state level on, we can go on. I think we just have to get a permit for fundraising through the Department of Agriculture, and then we're there. For a while now, I was without a treasurer, and we have a lady named Barbara who's now the treasurer of the organization, and she has well over 20 years of 501c3 experience and grant writing and dealing with grants. So she's the treasurer. I'm not fighting that one bit. And trying to think what else we got going on. That's about all when it comes to Access Sanctuary and Chapels. We welcome all. We have the emphasis of minority belief systems. And unlike regular churches that are already been established with the open arm policy, they may be open armed, but they're not of a minority belief system foundation. Whereas the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer are all from a different belief system, and so is the board members or potential board members. So when it comes to being a true universalist church or coexist church, the combination thereof, we kind of have a more sound foundation on that, because you don't have one belief system over the other. And that's written in our bylaws. And comparatively speaking, if you wanted to say, well, this church, has been open to us and our kind of people for many years, I implore you to go to the Division of Corporations of your state. Look up that organization up and read the Articles of Corporation, and you'll be surprised what the wording is. I won't say what church, but one said that their acceptance of all belief systems with the end result of hoping that they would find the power and glory of God. The problem is, there's no problem in that, depending on your interpretation of what God is. Some people see God as themselves. Some people see God as an energy, whether it be earthly or celestial. And then you have those who are theistic, which they believe in a particular deity. And but when you're going to a church that has an open arm policy, they're pretty much Christian based, and the interpretation of God is very specific. So at that point, is there a subversion going on with an open arm policy? With Access Sanctuary and Chapels, there isn't any. We believe, and we write it down, your journey is yours, and your form of self-discovery is yours. So even if you are a part of a tradition, it's still going to be, part of your quest or your journey, because it's all about basically you. And rather having someone point the finger and tell you how to live and what to believe, you can go off and find for yourself what it is that works for you. And the other thing about Access is there's not a church you can go to at the moment where you can go learn another belief system. So you might show up on a Sunday as a Universalist. You know, you're going to be in a room full of other people, not necessarily holding hands and singing Kumbaya, but if you want to go to the library and learn about a different belief system altogether, because positive or negative feedback on them, you can actually educate yourself on them and create your own opinion rather than a second or third hand opinion being cast down. And usually when I find that happening, it's usually a lot of nonsense. And the best part about reading up on other people's belief systems is to be educated on what they know, because if they don't know themselves, there's more ammo should there be ever a debate later on. And it's not necessarily for that purpose, but it kind of helps that way. So anyways, Access Sanctuary and Chapels, we're going to, in the next few months, we're going to get the ball rolling, and we hope to see everybody around. And we'd like to thank your support. I've been doing things a lot of ass backwards. I've been marketing internationally and now nationally, and then currently I am getting a lot of local support. So with that said and done, we're moving ahead, and so we're making the virtuality into a tangibility, and that's one of our main goals. And so we'll see how that works out. Anyways, my name is Ronald French, founder and pastor of Access Sanctuary Chapels, and I wish you well.